Hi there, welcome to That Board Game Show. My name is James Wood, and today I'm going to show you Smiths of Winterforge. The cavernous halls of Winterforge echo once more with the roar of fire and the ring of steel. 6 legendary guilds compete for the favour of the royal family, a favour that brings with it a prize of unrivaled value. The Royal Centenary Contract, guaranteed work for 100 years. The Smiths of Winterforge will stop at nothing to claim this highest honour. Only one thing stands in their way: each other. In Smiths of Winterforge, our objective is to complete contracts in order to score points. The way we do that is we go to these various precincts on the board, and we will hire helpers to help us forge those various contracts. We will go to the banking district to take out a loan to raise the funds we need in order to buy materials, which we will then use to forge the various contracts that the kingdom is requesting of us. Today I'm going to show you the solo mode for Smiths of Winterforge, which is driven by this event deck over here. At the beginning of each of my turns, I will flip over one of these event cards, which will have some in-game effect for that particular round. And there are 15 cards here, denoting the 15 turns over which I will play the solo mode. In the multiplayer game, each player has one of these royal contracts, which is different from the others by the back of it. You can see it's got this slightly purple back. And if a player completes their royal contract, that will trigger the end of the game and you'll finish out the round and tally up your points. In the solo mode, naturally, there aren't any other players to trigger off that end game. So we simply have the 15 turns as denoted by this event deck. So I've got these starting contracts that I begin the game with, one royal contract, and then one of these level 1 contracts. I also start with a guild board off to the side here. Today I'm playing the Ironbrow Guild, who are particularly good at making armor. That is their real strength. That is their primary focus. They're not so interested in weapons and they're not so interested in jewelry. They just like making armor. However, they can learn to do those other things as well. So at the moment, I've started the game with this amulet in my hand, which is a jewelry item. So chances of me being able to forge that early on in the game is fairly slim. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to swap out this contract for something that I'm more likely to actually succeed at. So I'll take my little smith worker over here, and I'll place him in this guild hall action space. And when you go to the guild hall, there are 2 possible actions you can take. You can take either 2 contracts from the job board that the kingdom has put up over there, or you can ask the other guilds for some money. You know, if you're struggling and you're not doing too well, they might help you out a bit. However, they'll only help you out if you have less than 3 coin. And you're meant to start the game with 3 coins on your guild board, which I'll pull from this stack over here. And the observant among you may notice that these stacks of coins and tokens just magically appeared. That's because I forgot to set them up at the beginning of this video. So they're there now, and we can continue. So at the start of the game, I can't actually take this action to ask the other guilds for some money because I've got enough to get by. So what I will do is this action over here. I will take 2 contracts from the job board at the top there, and I will add them to my hand. So let's see. My royal contract requires me to have armor and weapon skills. One of the ways you increase your skills in these various fields is to forge contracts that require those items. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take these 2 contracts over here, this short sword and this breastplate, because those are both things that will help towards my long-term goal. I don't have to forge this during the game, but it is a good way to get quite a lot of points. So I'll take those 2 and add them to my hand. And now you'll see that I have 3 basic contracts in my hand, as well as this one. This one you can always keep, but you have a hand limit of 3 for these normal contracts. So that was my first of 3 actions. Each turn is divided into 3 actions. And now that I've done that action, I will replenish this job board up at the top here with some more armor options, a dagger and an ornate bracelet. So I'm not too interested in making that, but this dagger is quite appealing. And in this guild hall district, there is this little +1 coin in this black outline space. Now in the solo game, this is less important, but in the multiplayer game, that is a bonus you get if you are the first player in a round to go to that space. So I'm pretty much always the first player in the round, so I will get that bonus of 1 coin from the supply. And now, if I were to perform a second action in this guild hall, remember I can do 3 actions per turn, I won't get that bonus. It only happens the first time you do the action in a district. So in order to get that bonus again, I have to leave that district, go somewhere else, and then when I come back, I can trigger off that bonus again. And I just remembered one more thing. I forgot to flip over the event card at the start of the game. This is what drives the solo mode, and I clean forgot to do it. So let's do that now. We'll flip over this event card, and that is a tavern brawl. Remove the 3 face-up crew cards in the tavern from the game. Oh dear. So there is a brawl in the tavern. Somebody gets a little bit too drunk and starts shoving other people around, and they all beat each other to a pulp, and they are kicked out of the tavern for their rowdiness. And we reveal 3 new patrons show up in this tavern district over here. And these are people that can help us do various actions. So that was the first of my 3 actions. So for my second action, I will head over to this tavern district, and I will spend my second action doing that. There are these little arrows between each district, and so moving from one to the other is one of the actions you can perform. Now I will spend my third and final action for this turn to hire one of these assistants. So I'm looking over here and I see this guy, this veteran, will help me give +2 to weapons contracts, which will help me forge this sword later on. So I will hire him. He will come over into my guild board area over here. That will cost me 2 coin. So I will pay the 2 coin back over to the supply there. And I will replenish this tavern district. And the bonus in the tavern district is -1 coin. So I actually had to only pay 1 coin to hire him. So let's take that one back. And that is the end of the first turn. So now we will flip over an event card and we'll play the next turn. Our event is a fine day for forging. Nothing happens. Well, that's a rather uneventful event phase. So let's see now. I want to forge these things. In order to forge these things, I have to come over to the market district and buy materials. You will see the icons on these cards match up with the icons on these various materials here. So to make a short sword, I need to go get some iron or some silver. And it also wants some raw materials, so it wants some obsidian or some twine. You know, you got to have some twine wrapped around the handle to make it a decent grip. You can't just grip bare steel. So let's see. I don't have much money. So right now, I don't have enough money really to afford many materials. So I'm going to come over down to the banking district for my first action. That is 1. I'm going to take out a loan to get some cash in my coffers so that I have some money to work with. So when you come to the bank here, you get the amount on the borrow side of these loan cards, which in this case is 6, plus the bonus in this area is 1. So I get 7 money. So let's take 5, 6, 7. And I put this on my guild board over here. And that will be -2 points at the end of the game if I haven't paid it back. In order to pay it back, I have to come back down to the banking district and I have to pay in 10 coin. So it's just a temporary loan to get me started so that I can get out here, forge some contracts, which you will see give you money when you complete them. So hopefully I can make back enough money to pay back that loan before the game ends. I will replenish this area here with another loan. And now I will spend my third action to move over to the market district so that I'm ready next turn to start spending some of this money to get the materials I need to forge these contracts. So let's do that. That is my third action, and that is the end of my second turn. Flip over an event card. Day of Tomag. The market and bank are closed for this turn. Well, isn't that just dandy? Just as I show up at the market, they close the doors and say, nope, sorry, we're not operating today, it's a holiday. Oh, bother. Bother, bother, bother. Right, so new plan. I suppose I could head back to the guild hall and swap out this amulet, which isn't going to really help me towards my big objective here. And this helper could be quite good as well. Yeah, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to head over to the tavern district. So that's going to be 1, 2 of my actions. And then I'm going to spend my third action to hire this wayward son who will help me forge weapons and armor contracts. So he'll lend his muscles to my crew. And that will cost me 2 coin, -1 because of the bonus over there. Pop that back over there. Replenish this. And you can only have 2 assistants in your crew. So if I wanted to hire someone else over here, I'd have to dismiss one of these guys, send them off on their merry way, say thanks for your services and send them packing. So let's see. Next turn, let's flip over an event card. A fine day for forging, nothing happens. Well, now nothing happens, of course. Oh dear. Okay, so we're going to head on back to that market that was shut in our face earlier. We'll go 1, 2 actions to move there. And then third action, let's go shopping. So we can buy 2 items in the market district. And the bonus action is 1 additional. So we can buy 3 items in the market district. And then this symbol here means that as a free action, you may spend 1 coin to refresh any one of these rows. So discarding all 3 items and drawing 3 new ones from the stack. That's just in case there's absolutely nothing here that's going to help with the contracts you're trying to forge. So let's take a look at these contracts I'm trying to forge. I'm going to ignore this amulet for now. And let's look at this short sword, this breastplate, and then I can also look out here to see the contracts that are publicly available that I can possibly pick up later on. And I can see that this contract over here is going to need some metal. And these 2 contracts in my hand both need metal and some raw material, be that wood or twine or something of the sort. And when choosing the items over here, you'll see this number in the bottom right-hand corner. That number represents the dice that you can roll when using that item to forge a contract later on. So I'll get to that when I'm actually forging a contract. But right now, basically, that can help you determine which of the items you want. For instance, this birch over here only costs 1 coin to purchase, and it gives me the material I require for both these contracts. But it will only let me roll a d4. So the highest number I can roll is 4. So that's not very good. Whereas this twine costs 2 money, and it also is the same material type, but it will give me a d6. It's a slightly better version of that material. Or I can go really extreme and buy this obsidian down here, which is a real luxury item. As you can see, these level 3 items down here are all precious stones and jewels and rare metals. And so this one here will give me a d8. Now, you could still roll a 1 on a d8, but you could also roll an 8. So you've got to weigh up your options over here. And let's see. I think let's get this silver, because that will be very useful for all these contracts. So we'll pay 2 coin for that silver. And we'll just put this over here in my general area. And you'll notice I don't immediately fill that in. You buy your 3 things, and only after you've finished your action does the market replenish. Let's get this leather over here. I want to make my item with some leather, I think. So I'll add that over there. And then I can buy a third one as the bonus for this area. Quite a few good options out there. You know what? I think I'm just going to get a cheap one. I'm just going to get this copper over here. So I'll exchange this 5 for a 3 and a 1. And I'll get some copper. Because while it's only a D4, you could still roll 4, which might be just enough for the contract you want to forge. Let's replenish the market. It is a new day in the market. And if I can pick up the card. And what's come in? We've got some more birch, some oak, and a bit of steel. There's some good stuff over there. Let us draw the event card for the next day. We are having a material surplus. All components in the market cost -1 money this turn. Well, in that case, let's stay at the market and do some more shopping. But now I can only buy 2 items, because you only get this bonus when you first move into an area. So if I wanted that bonus again, I would have to leave and come back, which might be worth doing. That would then be all 3 of my actions though, because it'd be 1 to leave, 1 to come back, and then my third one to buy stuff. So I think I'll just give that a miss. I'll just buy 2 more items at that discount. And I will buy, let's see, this breastplate is going to be quite hard. So I think I'll buy this steel while it's available and while it's discounted. So that will cost me 2. I'll exchange that 3 for a 1 because of the material surplus. There is a surplus of steel. They don't know what to do with it and they are just selling it off like hotcakes. And what else can I buy? I could buy one of these cheaper materials for absolutely nothing. That would be rather nice. They're just giving away the birch today. So let's get some birch for free. We've got a nice little cache of materials over there. That was my first action. Let's replenish the market. We've got some quartz and some more steel. See? That surplus steel just keeps flooding in. Okay, so now I think it's time we went and forged something. So I'm going to head over to the forge district for my second action. That is 2. And then for my third action, I will attempt to forge one of these items. So now I could test my luck and just try forge this breastplate, or I can play it a little bit safer and try forge this short sword. So let's do that. So when you forge in a contract, you place it on the table in front of you. I'll just place it here so it's visible for the camera. And then you take the materials and you tuck them under. So this is quite an easy one. It only needs 10. And you will see the bonus in this forge district when forging a contract is to add one of these work tokens to the board. So you can add that. Or instead of forging a contract, I could first improve my weapons skill. So I think I'm going to rather do that. I'm just going to be here ready next turn to forge something. And I'm going to increase my skill. I go to the forge district and I watch some of the other smiths forging some weapons and I pick up some tips. And I can do so at a discount of 1 coin, which is very good because in order to upgrade your skill in any one of these, it costs 3 coin. And I only have 2. So I will spend those 2 coin and I will increase my weapons skill up to level 1. So now I have a little bit of understanding of how to make a short sword. And I will have to call it a day there because that was my third action. So now we will draw an event card, which is bank theft. No loans may be taken from the bank this turn. Well, good thing I wasn't planning to do that. The bank just got raided and all the coin is gone. Oh dear. So fortunately, I wasn't going to the bank, I was going to the forge. So let me forge this short sword now that I have some minor skill acquired for it. And I think because it's only a 10, I don't need to use my very valuable resources here. I think I'll use this silver for the metal. It is quite a premium short sword. And I'll use this birch over here. So as you see, we tuck them in like so. And I'm making a short sword with silver and birch. It's got a nice birch wooden handle and a beautiful silver blade. And it would get +2 when using bronze. So I could add 2 to my work value when I'm trying to forge that. But there is no bronze available in the market. So now I will pick up a D6 and a D4. 1d6, 1d4. I will give them a roll, and I'm looking for 10. Plus, I can add my 1 over there. So this is my first action for this turn. Let's give this a roll, and we got a 4. That's rather hard to see from that, but oh well. That is a 4, and that is a 3, so 7, 8. Not quite. Not quite 10. So, when you fail to forge a contract, you take one of these work tokens and you add it onto the contract you are attempting to forge, representing that you've started work on it, so no work in this game is wasted. You know, you didn't go there and just completely fail, throw the materials away and leave. You've started the work on that short sword, but it's going to take a little bit longer to complete than you initially anticipated. So I could just try that again. And my helper just pointed out to me from behind the camera that I completely forgot about my assistants over here that I hired earlier, because this veteran over here will give me +2 when forging a weapon, and this wayward son will give me +1 when forging weapons or armor. So with them, that is 3, plus the 7 I rolled is 10, plus the 1 skill I acquired is actually 11, which means I actually succeeded at this contract. I did not fail. So let's put that back over there. These materials that I used are returned to their decks at the bottom. And I now score 2 points at the end of the game, so I'll just set this aside for end game scoring. And immediately I get 7 money. So that is rather nice. I'll just pop this off to the side over there, so you can remember what it is we forged. And I will get that 7 money. So let's take 3, 6, 7. And continue to the next turn. Let's move those off to the side. That was my first of 3 actions. So now I could look over here. Chances of rolling an 18 are pretty slim. This amulet is going to be quite hard. So I think I need to go gather some more contracts to work on. And one more thing, when I completed that contract, I gained some skill in that field because I've just completed my first weapon. So I gained some experience forging weapons, and I move up my experience track over there. And one more thing, I have to pay those assistants. They don't just work for me for nothing. So for each assistant I want to keep on my crew, I have to pay 1 coin. So let's see, do I want to keep both of them? You can just hire them, use them for one thing, and then let them go. Let's see, I think, you see there's only this 1 dagger, so I don't know how helpful this veteran is going to be in the future. So I think I'll let him go. He's done his job. Thank you very much, veteran. You helped me forge my first short sword. So he heads off and goes back to his life. And I will pay 1 coin to keep this guy around because he helps me with weapons and armor. I probably want to start working on some armor now. So for my second action, I'm going to come down to the guild hall over here, and I'm going to draw some more contracts. I'm quite liking the look of this dagger because that's a nice easy way to get some extra coin and increase my weapons skill level. So this will be my third action. First action was there, second to move down here, third to draw some contracts. So I will draw this dagger, and I'm working on armor things. So let's draw this reinforced gauntlets contract. Then, before I replenish the supply over there, you'll see I now have 4 contracts in my hand. And the hand limit is 3. So now one of these I have to return to the job board, making it available for the other guilds to work on. So no contract is completely wasted. Somebody will hopefully complete it. So we'll put that back up there. And now the job board is flooded with jewelry, which I am not attending to. Oh well, let's replenish that over there. And ooh, there is some more weapons. That could be a good one to work towards in the future. So that is the end of that turn. We will now draw an event card and see what happens. A party in the guild hall. Take +2 gold when you request funds from the guild hall this turn. Oh well. I won't benefit from that, unfortunately. So how that would work, if I had less than 3 money and I came here to request some funds from the other guild members, this party in the guild hall would give me 2 additional coin for doing that. However, I have 6 money, so they would just scoff at my request, no matter how merry they were. So, oh well. Let us now see what we have here. We have a dagger that I could use this copper to work on. We have these reinforced gauntlets, which are 22. That's pretty tough. But let's see what these benefits are. So this breastplate gives +2 when using iron. And this reinforced gauntlet contract will give +2 when using fur. So is fur and iron available? There's some iron, so maybe I should go buy some iron. Yes, I think I should do that. So first thing I'll do is head over to this market district and get some more materials. I will pick up some iron because the person who wants this breastplate specifically wants it made with iron. So let's buy that. It will cost 2 money. Exchange that for 1. And using the bonus, I can buy 3 things. So let's see, we're still going to need these raw materials and lots more metal. So let us see, there's no fur available unfortunately, because that would help with the gauntlets. So let's buy some twine. Yeah, I'm going to need some more of these raw materials. So I'll buy some twine for 2 money. And my third purchase will be, I don't have enough money for this obsidian, unfortunately. That would be quite useful for one of these. So I will spend the last of my coin, 1, 2, on this oak over here. And I am now flat broke, but hopefully I can go complete these contracts and make all that money back. Let's replenish the market. And there is more steel. They weren't kidding about that material surplus earlier. So that was my second action. For my third action, let's head over to this forge district and I'll be ready to get to work next turn. So, first thing we'll do, flip over this event. Tomag's Blessing. All forging rolls gain an additional 4 this turn. Well, isn't that nice? That was timed very well because I'm about to start forging. So now everything I do will get 1 additional D4 added to the roll. So let us start with this breastplate, I think, because then I can gain some experience to help me with these reinforced gauntlets later. So I will assign, let's see, I needed to use the iron for that, so we'll put the iron over there. And we will use, those are all going to give me a D6, so it doesn't really matter which one I use. Let's use some leather. We'll make our breastplate with leather and iron. That's going to be nice and comfortable. So that will give us 2 D6s, 1, 2, and a D4 because of Tomag's Blessing. And we will add +1, +2, 3 for our base skill over there. So we've got a base level of 3. And let's see how we can do here. So give the dice a shake. And what have we got? We've got a 3, which is completely invisible to the top camera. And a 5, that is 8, that is 9, 10, 11, 12. Not quite. But the bonus when you do your first action in the Forge District is to add 1 work token to the item you are forging. So that is 2, 4, plus 5 is 9, 10, 13. Still not quite there. So now I gain some experience, I work a bit harder on that breastplate, I get one of these work tokens added to it. And as you just saw, each of these adds one to your base skill in that area. So let's see. I suppose I'll just keep trying that. Actually, before I continue with that one, I'm going to spend my second action to start forging this dagger, because again, using this bonus for this round will possibly help me get that done. And I'll just use this copper over here, because that is a nice, easy one. So that will give me 2 D4s to work on that dagger. So let's roll those. Chances of me getting that are almost guaranteed, because I've got a base. Yeah, I've got a base of 3, and I only need 4. So I'm pretty much guaranteed that no matter what I roll. And I got 4, 5, 6, 7. Overkill. I completely over-engineered that dagger. So I get 3 coin from the bank. 1, 2, 3. That goes over there, and I'll add it to my list of successful forging items. I gain 1 experience on the weapons track. The copper is now used up. It is now a dagger. Add that back over there. And that was my second action. I will pay my wayward son, say thank you very much for your services. You are helping me quite substantially. And I will now use my third and final action to try for this breastplate again. Let's see what we can do. So put that back over there, the 2d6s plus the 1d4. Give those a shake, and there we go. Double sixes, huzzah. Okay, so that is 12 plus 3 is 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. So we just completed a breastplate. Yay for us. So we can add the breastplate to our little collection over there. These items go back to the supply. And we pay him after gaining our 12 money. That is quite a good payday. 10, 11, 12. Oops. And then we'll pay 1 to keep our wayward son, because he has proved himself very useful. That was the end of the turn. Let's send these dice back off to the supply. Flip over an event card for the next turn. Corporate espionage. Randomly discard 1 non-royal contract from your hand. Oh dear. Who ever thought that there would be corporate espionage in a dwarven mining town? But oh well. So I only have 1 non-royal contract in my hand, so that is gone. We will just discard that off to the side there. Somebody snuck in and stole the plans for my, what were these? Reinforced gauntlets, so they're gone. I don't have the blueprints I needed to forge that anymore. So while I've got all this money, I think I'll head down to this banking district and pay back my loan. So I'll keep myself in the bank's good books. Let's head down there. 1, 2. And then third action will be to pay this back. And the bonus for this banking district is -2. So I only have to pay back 8 money, not 10. So let's go 5, 6, 7, 8. And I now flip that face down and I tuck it under the side of my gold board here. And that is now worth 1 point at the end of the game, instead of -2. And on that note, I think I'm going to wrap it up there. I'm about halfway through this event deck, so there's still several turns to go. But I think that gives you a good idea of how Smiths of Winterforge plays. I've shown you all the various districts, how the market works, the forge, the guild hall, the tavern, the bank. I've taken a loan, I've paid back a loan. You know, maybe going forward, I could think about going and hiring some more assistants to add to my crew. And all of this in the name of forging more and more contracts, with the hope to be able to forge this royal contract near the end of the game. So let's take a look at what I've forged so far. I have forged a short sword, a breastplate, and a dagger. So I've pretty much forged a decent little armory over there. And those have given me 2, 4, 5 points. if the game were to end at this stage, I would get 1 point for each loan I have paid back to a maximum of 2. You can only take and then repay 2 loans over the course of the game. You will gain points based on where you are on the skill track over here. So if you manage to get your skills up beyond this level 5 or this level 7, you'll get 2 or 3 points. And then you would get 2 points if you have 2 crew members still remaining at the end of the game. So at the moment, I have 2, 4, 5, 6 points. My skills are not anywhere close to the top, but that's only the halfway mark, so plenty of time to get some more higher value contracts. Like this one over here is worth 3, but it's a jewelry thing, so my iron brows aren't much good at that. They don't quite have the dainty dexterity required to forge finely crafted jewelry. And with that, I'll say thanks so much for watching, and I hope you enjoyed the show.